basic principles of hold escapes. What shall I do? I try to release myself. What is a release? Here we see the same distribution of forces as earlier, but you look at it in more detail now. I position my arms together. My bones here play the role of a hard object. That means they're a long leverage, and I'm trying to use it here, taking into consideration the diameter of my wrist. You should try to use the combination of all the actions to get the best result. You can strike him here, strike to his head, turn his arm a little, then you can reach his throat. Here you should hold his arm. If it slips, for example, I can use my leg to help myself. Or another variation, I strike it and turn it to the side and use my knee then. After using your knee, you may get him to the ground with your heel. Here you form the so-called crank mechanism, as Alexei Alexeyevich told you earlier, or a universal shaft. Do you know what a universal shaft is? Do you remember or not? To explain it simply, it's such. A long object, it's a long shaft made of iron, but hollow inside. There are two pipes or slits inside it. These pipes may slide inside the shaft, thus making it longer or shorter. The slits don't allow these pipes, I would rather say shafts, to twist, and there are two of them. This concerns the length. Moreover, there are four-way pieces at the end of the shaft which let it move under different angles. When there are pits on the road, the load is too heavy. The universal shaft of the car either lengthens or shortens. The car goes up, the shaft shortens. The car goes down, it lengthens. Then the end changes the angle. The same here. Here we also use the principle of a universal shaft, but it's harder to imitate all the details. The point is that we release one arm, now we make a twist with the second arm and strike here. We see the first and the second point of the force application here. We apply our mass and use the second arm to help ourselves. When you're trying to overbalance him and can't estimate the situation, or when it's impossible to release yourself, it's exactly the element that helps you to pass from one bond to another. When I applied force here, pressed him, and when I went to turn him, his arm even more, I can face the fact that there is not much space to act. I see that I make an obstacle for myself. When there's some combination, for example, I pull him aside and turn the arm, then it works. I applied more force there to use his weight. Then I need just to use minor effort and understand where to apply it. In my opinion, it depends on the situation itself. I saw that it's possible to act in one way, but the situation changed, and now I see that it's impossible. Then I should act in a different way. I should apply some rules and laws. For example, I can pull his arm in that direction. Then it worked. I could act this way from the very beginning. You see, but I passed there and it seems to be at the end. But I thought everything over and pulled one arm there and the second here. Now I catch his arm so that there is some contact and turn his body. That means that I acted in the direction which seems to be useless at first. But I used it because it appeared to be the easiest way out.